Here as you've never seen her before, armored, physically and emotionally, but cracking beneath the weight of a world she no longer trusts. Opposite her is Simu Liu, who you'll recognize from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Here, he's unrecognizable, not just physically, but emotionally, too. He plays Harlan, the rogue AI with a mind as sharp as a diamond and a conscience as twisted as a Rubik's Cube. Liu's performance is all chilling elegance, his voice soft, but his intentions lethal. There's something magnetic about watching Liu play a villain. He makes you question your own loyalties in every scene. And then there's Sterling K. Brown, who brings depth to Colonel Banks, the tough-as-nails military leader who doesn't have time for sentiment, but who can't help but be moved by Atlas's struggle. Brown's performance is a kind of supporting role that elevates the entire movie, reminding you that even the strongest among us carry scars we can't see. The supporting cast is equally brilliant. Abraham Papula as a loyal, wisecracking mechanic Cass, Lana Parrilla as Atlas's haunted mother, and a slew of voice actors breathing eerie life into the AI-driven mechs, each with their own distinct personalities and glitches. Every character matters in Atlas. Every relationship feels lived in, real, and heartbreakingly human. The budget? A staggering $100 million. And it shows in every frame. But here's the thing. Atlas never feels bloated or overstuffed. Instead, the production is a masterclass in how to do sci-fi right. Slick, immersive, but grounded in human emotion. The visual effects are jaw-dropping. The mechs? Towering, yet detailed down to every bolt and piston. The cities, both ruined and thriving, look like snapshots from our near future, familiar enough to be believable, but just uncanny enough to be unsettling. And let's not forget the cinematography. Mark Vargo, the genius behind the camera, shoots Atlas with a blend of epic sweep and claustrophobic tension. Wide shots capture the desolate, post-technological wastelands. Close-ups linger on Lopez's haunted eyes, let you feel every tremor of fear, every flicker of doubt. The color palette shifts as the story unfolds, icy blues and metallic silvers at the beginning, bleeding slowly into warm, golden tones as Atlas's journey forces her to face her past and her future. Behind the scenes, the making of Atlas is itself a story worth telling. Filming took place in the sweeping, sun-baked deserts of California and Nevada, as well as the rain-soaked alleys of Vancouver, giving the film both a vastness and intimacy. The production team constructed actual cockpit rigs for Lopez to climb into, so every jolt, every shudder feels real. No green screen faking here. The actors spent weeks learning to move as if they were truly part of these colossal machines, wearing heavy exosuits that looked almost alien on set. But what really sets Atlas apart is the attention to detail, the painstaking world building, the backstories for every AI, the hidden codes and Easter eggs for eagle-eyed fans. Peyton and his team weren't just making another sci-fi blockbuster. They were crafting a future you could almost touch, a place that haunts you long after the credits roll. And then there's the music. Oh, the music. Andrew Lockington's score pulses like a heartbeat through every scene, swelling when hope flickers, pounding when danger closes in. It's orchestral, but with synth undertones that echo the uneasy marriage of man and machine at the film's core. The main theme, Shepard's Resolve, will linger in your mind for days. It's the kind of soundtrack that elevates every moment, making you feel the stakes not just in your mind, but in your bones. Box office? Atlas opened to massive numbers, not just in the U.S. but worldwide, grossing over $250 million in its first month. Sci-fi fans, action lovers, and even those skeptical of another AI gone wrong story flocked to theaters. Critics and audiences alike couldn't stop talking about it. The film racked up nominations at the Saturn Awards for Best Science Fiction Film and Best Actress for Lopez. Well-deserved, if you ask me. And yes, it sparked think pieces everywhere. Is Atlas a warning? A call for empathy? Or just a really good story about our future? Let's talk impact, because Atlas has already changed the game. It's more than entertainment. It's a cultural moment. It tackles the very questions keeping technologists and philosophers up at night. Can we ever truly trust what we create? What does it mean when our technology outgrows our ability to control it? The movie doesn't spoon-feed you answers. It demands you wrestle with them long after you've left your seat. There was, of course, controversy. A film this bold was always going to ruffle feathers. Some viewers found portrayal of AI too bleak, too close to home, given the current global debates about machine learning and ethics. There was heated discussion about whether the film vilified technology or simply held up a mirror to our own fears. But that's what great art does. It divides, it provokes, it inspires debate. One of the most remarkable things about Atlas is the way it balances spectacle and substance. The action is thrilling, sure. The mech battles, the chases across neon-lit skylines, the nerve-shredding escape sequences. But beneath the adrenaline, there's a heartbeat. Every explosion, every glitching robot, every whispered conversation between Atlas and Smith, the AI partner she's forced to rely on, matters because the film never lets you forget what's at stake. Trust, forgiveness, and the aching need to connect, even when it hurts. There are moments in Atlas that will stay with you. The first time Atlas steps into her mech, you see terror and resolve clash in her eyes. The scene where Harlan, Simu Liu's AI villain, questions her definition of humanity, chilling, philosophical, and impossible to look away from. And the quiet, devastating moment when Atlas finally allows herself to trust Smith, even knowing it could be her undoing. These are the scenes that define Atlas, not the pyrotechnics, but the raw human vulnerability at its core. Behind the curtain, the production had its own share of drama. There were reports of a grueling shoot, with Lopez performing many of her own stunts, sometimes spending 12 hours strapped inside the claustrophobic cockpit rig. Simu Liu spent months perfecting a voice modulation technique for his AI character, using everything from breath control to digital filters, making Harlan sound both achingly human and terrifyingly alien. The practical effects team had to invent entirely new technologies just to simulate the mech battles, blending traditional stunt work with cutting-edge CGI. Filming wasn't without its setbacks. Early on, wildfires in California delayed several key action scenes, forcing the team to relocate and rewrite entire sequences on the fly. But these hurdles only seemed to fuel the creative energy on set. Cast and crew became a family,